You'll be here in a little bit. Are we on? Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another prediction show live from Eagle Pass Sports Central. My name is Ruben Valdez. Thank you for joining us on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, coming to you live today from Choche's Barbecue, where we've gathered the coaches from both the Eagles and the Mavericks for a discussion, as we always have on Week 8 in high school football. We also have a special guest joining us tonight. Before that, we do want to thank Choche's Barbecue for their hospitality and for allowing us to have the prediction show here. Also, we want to thank our sponsors on behalf of Universal Media Connection, Sangar Furniture, La Vida Tortilla Factory, Border Federal Credit Union, Stat Emergency, Texas Diamond Garage, Jad Harper Attorney at Law, Saritas Tortilla Factory, Joe Ruiz and Associates, Lorena Meadows State Farm, Choche's Barbecue, United Medical Centers, Los Venados, Tabanny Insurance, and Retro Ranch Western Wear. Coach Eric Villaseñor, Athletic Director for the EPISD. We're underway for Week 8, and before we bring the coaches in and talk predictions, I'm going to let you, as every week, introduce our special guest.
Thank you, Ruben. I want to thank Choche's Barbecue for hosting us this afternoon. It's always a great place, great food. I want to introduce our special guest, our head coach for cross country at Wynn High School. She's been in the education profession for 24 years, in the coaching profession for 10 years, a true passion for what she does. And we're just very lucky to have her on staff here at Eagle Pass ISD as our head coach, fresh off a boys district championship last week in 28 5A. Great pleasure to introduce head coach Yanet Rodriguez.
Well, with a glowing introduction like that, Coach, we'll turn to you now and talk about your role. Congratulations on your boys winning the district championship. As we heard from your brief resume there that Coach Villaseñor talked about, you've been doing this for quite a bit now, but this is your first year, as I understand it, as head cross-country coach at CC
This is
Wynn.
my first year.
Talk to us a little bit about the challenge of a first-year head coach.
It was tough. Coach Villaseñor called me often to check on me. I would always tell him, he's like, Coach, how are you doing? It's going good. And I was like facing all these challenges, practices early in the mornings. I mean, we meet at 6:20 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday. And gathering a team, building a team this year. I did lose some seniors last year. So having to build that team again was a challenge, but I mean, we got it done. We pulled together, our boys put together, and we were able to make that team happen.
It's a different perspective, isn't it? But we've got two head football coaches here that spent many years as assistants, and now they've got a vision for their program. Talk about what that means for you, the difference between being at an assistant level and now being at a head coach level where you can implement your vision into a program.
Well, I do want to take a little bit of what I've learned from my previous coaches, of course. But, of course, I want to build a winning tradition, when it comes to our program, to our cross-country program. And not only for the boys, but for the girls, too. We were playing with numbers already and seeing that our girls have a big chance of placing, first or second next year, too. But, it's making traditions with my team, being steadfast with my team, and continue just building and advertising our program, not only trying to bring more kids in. That's one of my number one priorities, not only having a few here that could win, but having numbers, introducing the program to more kids. And growing the program, not only at the high school level, but starting with our foundation, which is at Memorial Junior High.
One of the challenges that we all often talk to about coaches is you're not just coaching athletes, they're students too,
yes.
Right? And so you're building student athletes. What is the challenge in getting them first to be steadfast, steady students in the classroom, but also how does cross country help with academics? How does it build academic potential?
I think when we remind our students, first of all, of course, our student athletes, that their academics is a priority, and I feel that cross country gives them that, well, how can I say it? I'm looking for the word.
So there's discipline, right? And having to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning earlier than that in order to be at practice.
Yes.
And that's helpful in the classroom, isn't it?
Yes, it's helpful. Yeah, I mean, building that discipline with them helps them with school too, as well, and being good members of society as well.
Very good. Coach, talk to us about where your boys are headed next, the date, the time, and any message you've got for cross-country parents and the community at large.
Well, let me answer the first part first. We're going to Corpus Christi. We're going to be running at the Dugan Stadium, Texas A&M, and they're running on October the 22nd, next Tuesday, and our first race is for the girls at 9:30 a.m., and then the boys at 10.
Very well, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
This is regionals.
This
yes?
is regionals, and my message to the parents: running is live. I always tell my kids, running is live. Join us. We're ready. I mean, we want to take you in. We're here to build good athletes.
Coach, congratulations on all your success, and thank you very much for joining us here at the Prediction Show. Best of luck to you and your students.
Thank you very much for having me.
We want to bring in the head coaches now. Talk to them a little bit about this past week and about what awaits both the WIN program and the Eagle Pass High School program in the next couple of days. We'll start here to my right with head coach Roger Olivas. Coach, got a tough game this past week against LBJ. Talk a little bit about the good things that you saw in that game, some of your good performers, and what you took away from that victory against LBJ.
Well, you got to learn how to win those tough games. We didn't execute. At the beginning we started off slow, but our defense came up big time after time. We caused 3 turnovers. We scored on defense. But at the same time we missed some plays. We probably could have scored another 14 points, but credit to LBJ and Leo Mireles and his staff. They came prepared. They came hungry. They did everything they needed to win, but I think at the end of the day, our boys stepped up to the plate and proved that they can win tough games like we did against San Antonio Taft early in the year.
Absolutely. Going forward, Coach, you've got a game on Saturday night down in Laredo against Alexander. Always a tough opponent in this district. Talk a little bit about your preparation for that game.
Well, we think about it as an extra hard day for us, an extra, Coach Edwin Garcia does an amazing job with the Alexander. Like you said, we always feel like this is for seeding purposes with Alexander. So it's always a tough game for us, a tough matchup. We're very, I guess, mirror images of each other offensively and defensively in some ways. We know each other very, very well. He knows what we like to do. They know what we like to do. We know what he likes to do. So it's kind of like, we're practicing against each other every day. It's a tough matchup. I think for both colleges, I think it's whoever plays this week out the best and prepares the best. And at the end of the day, who executes the best.
Absolutely. We'll take some time to talk here to your offense coordinator, Christine Garcia, first. Coach, talk to us about lessons learned against LBJ last week for your offense.
So it was a tough matchup. They had a very good D-line, and I think it was really third down and red zone, which that's where we kind of pride ourselves on and being good, and we just didn't execute at the level we wanted to. But I was real proud of the boys, the way they kept fighting, and then when we had to answer, we answered the call. So that's what we've been working on, executing those third downs and red zone. We know that's what's going to win those tight games.
And looking forward to Saturday's game against Alexander, what does that Alexander defense bring that you have to contain?
Like Coach said, they're very similar as far as the 4-3 look. They're very athletic. I coached there for 6 years, so I know a lot of these coaches. I know a lot of these kids, but they play hard. They pursue the ball real well. We got to execute at a high level, and we've been telling our boys it's a championship mentality all week, because that's what the kind of game we're expecting.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Coach. We want to talk to defense coordinator Ricky Ruiz.
Yes, sir.
Coach, talk to us about what your defense learned last week against LBJ and what you saw from them in that game.
Yes, sir. Our defense, we're challenged all week. we wanted them to play hard. We wanted them to play fast. So they stepped up to the plate and they had a great game. But like I always said, you win as a team, you lose as a team, and we always got each other's back. We're one team. We're the Eagles.
You're headed down to the SAC in Laredo on Saturday against a usually tough Alexander offense. How are you going to? What's your plan to contain them?
Our plan is to stop the run. We got to stop the GT and the G plus the ice cream. Ice cream, they come as a bunch, bigger guys.
They're heavy set.
Heavy set. So we're gonna try to stop the run. No, we're gonna stop the run. After that, we're gonna make a pass. We want him to pass the ball. I think our game plan is real good. Coach Olivas and I have been planning it, personnel, stuff like that. We're ready. We're gonna play hard.
Very good. We'll pass the mic back here to head coach Roger Olivas. Coach, you're kind of in the meat of the district season now, right? These all matter from now on. How do you get your guys to stay focused on the goal ahead?
You know, you got to focus one game at a time. Every game is a different challenge. Every game, like we tell our players, you know, it's a playoff game. It got to be a playoff atmosphere. Every game is big, and no game is bigger than the other. But the biggest game is the one in front of us, and we got to take care of Alexander before we can think of United or anybody else. And you know, United is, you know, Alexander is everything that we always think Alexander is. A well-coached team. They're going to get after it. They're going to fight with you. And we got to win every little battle that we can.
Thank you so much, Coach. Turn in this direction now for head coach Rene Ramirez. Coach, we'll talk a little bit about coming off of last week against a very tough Nixon team. Talk to us a little bit about what your team learned in that game and some of the bright spots that you saw from your team.
No, it was a tough loss. I think we played well for about 2.5 quarters, and then we kind of let it slip away. Some self-inflicted mistakes, obviously, that were very costly. Nonetheless, we fought hard till the end. Our kids continue to understand and believe that they can hang with anybody at any time. It's just a matter of putting it all together. Other than that, I think we transferred that to this week. I send another message that it's a new week, but we got to continue to work hard and continue to believe in what we do. We trust our training, trust the coaching. At the end of the day, they need to trust each other on and off the field.
It's a short week for you, too.
Absolutely.
You've got a Thursday game tomorrow down in Laredo. How does that affect your preparation to have one less day to plan?
It's tough because it cuts down to your game, to your normal weekly prep, and we've had some PSAT testing as well with our juniors and seniors. So we have to adjust, but we talk about adjusting on the fly throughout the game, and this is a perfect example throughout. Allow our kids to continue to grow in that aspect where it's not always going to go right. And we've had some challenges throughout. We've had challenges throughout the week, and nonetheless, we've adjusted well. Matter of fact, we have one part run through this afternoon as well before we prepare and head up to Laredo tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thank you for your time, Coach. We'll talk to co-offensive coordinator Heriberto Royce. Coach, it's a tough loss last week, and it's a very good Nixon team in district. What did your offense gain from a game like that?
Well, we gained the confidence of understanding that we can go either run or pass. We had a great outing as far as the passing game. John Salayanda, number 4, the outside receiver, did a tremendous job. He had 10 receptions for 161 yards, so that was an excellent job. Obviously, Juan Cruz, number 7, also quarterback, did a great job of understanding. We have a lot of rollouts, a lot of staying in the pocket, and he adjusted well. Obviously, that comes with the credit to the line, obviously, as well. But our biggest preach of the message for the week is having to finish the drives. We had a key, we threw a key interception that could have given us possibly a chance to score. And then we fumble also as well with a great explosive play. We had another chance late in the game towards the very end that also that we could have had a chance to score. So all those are you're leaving points on the table. We talked about that. The kids understand, but at the end of the day, they feel confident. They're energetic. They're there in practice, which is a big plus. Having the kids in practice with a great attitude. So we feel that we have a good scheme, a good game scheme coming in for tomorrow, and we expect Martin to play us tough. We know that they're well coached with Coach Charles, but at the end of the day, we gotta do ourselves, and we gotta make sure that we take care of ourselves. And obviously, again, the message is as much as we can, stay on the field, working together. Obviously, we do a great job with the coaches as far as working together, the offensive staff, and we have to be in the same page, and we have to make sure that we trust it, what we're doing. Whether it's a lot easier when it works, but when it doesn't work, we gotta stick together as far as knowing the scheme and just coaching the kids. Because at the end of the day, we're there for the kids, and that's a game plan.
Absolutely. What kind of defense does Martin bring tomorrow?
Martin, we're expecting it's an up front, but it's a 0-44, but they drop those linebackers out to the outside, and they're gonna create chaos. Sometimes they have 5 guys in the line, sometimes they have 6, and they're not really like a slant wide type deal or blitz through the big gap. It's just they're gonna trade chaos. They're gonna try to create some confusion to the O line, but we preach all week just to make sure that we stay to the assignment, understand the play, understand where the play is going, especially with running ball, and execute the one-on-one, beat the one-on-one, and gain some yards at the end of the day.
Very good. Thank you, Coach.
Thank
We'll
you,
call
yes,
on
sir.
one of our defensive coordinators here
Yes, sir.
to. Well, I got to tell you, the 2 head coaches and I are sitting back here just salivating, watching everybody enjoy their Choche sandwiches. Good on you guys. Keep at it. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. Co-defensive coordinator Coach Hoffman talked to us a little bit about this game last week first against Nixon, and what your the bright spots that you saw in your defensive.
We played a predominantly passing team, so we started well. Obviously, it was 14-7 to the third quarter, and obviously we started making a couple of mistakes, misalignments, missed tackles, and that really cost us. Especially in the screen game. We had them for tackles for losses and simple mistakes that really cost us in the game. So we got to learn as coaches and players that our job is to put the kids in a position to win, their position to win, and we got to execute as well. And little mistakes cost us a lot in terms of points. So once again, we played a good 2 quarters, 3 quarters, but we're preaching to our kids that we got to play a complete game, and hopefully that resonates obviously tomorrow.
Talk to us a little bit about that Martin offense that you're going to see tomorrow and how to contain that.
Yeah, so Martin is predominantly a running team, right? They went 21, 31 personnel, so they don't really have a tight end. They have an extra lineman there, so we call it Texas. So they're a power team. They run power, quarterback power, running back power, 24-14 that we call it. And our job is obviously to stop the run and make it one-dimensional. So they're not really much of a passing team. They're more of a running team. So we feel that we could force them to throw the ball. Obviously, we have a good chance of winning. The problem with that is if we're going to concentrate on the run, it does leave a little bit of holes in our defense. So we're going to have a lot of one-on-one situations, and especially with the corners. So if it's a heavy running game, you're going to start them trying to creep up, because they want to get involved in the game. And we tell them, y'all can't get bored. A boring game's a good game for us corners, right? But as long as you can do that, and obviously they're going to take their shots, their deep shots as well, as long as we prepare for that. And we're going to be in a good situation to feel that. We got a good game plan, obviously for us to be successful tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Coach. We'll finish off here with head coach Rene Ramirez. Coach, same question I had for Coach Olivas. You're in the midst of a district season now where every game is very important and every game counts in a competitive district. How do you talk to your players, and how do you get them to stay focused on the goal ahead?
At this point, everybody's pretty much install whatever they have to install, and it's about tuning it up, maybe tweaking a couple of things in there, and that includes us. So it comes down to fundamentals and the basics. We need to tackle, we need to block, we need to defend, we need to protect the football. So as long as we continue to do that, we feel we have a good opportunity to be on the successful side. And everybody's hurting at this point, okay? Everybody's sustaining injuries, maintaining injury. It's how quick can we get on the field, how much can we withstand, and fight through the whole pain at the end of the day. Again, we're proud of our kids, and we expect a good outcome tomorrow.
Thank you, Coach, for your time. We were hoping to get Choche in here. If somebody can get a hold of him to see if you can join us here in a minute, we'll talk to him. Always good to have him on camera, but he's attending to his line, he says. So, well, and not the same lines these guys attend to, not O-line and D-line, but the line here at Choche's, which is always packed here with folks using their lunch hour for what is always delicious barbecue. Well, it's that time. We've come to our predictions. I know Morris was here last week. I'm here this week. I promise we're not mad at each other. We just our schedules haven't come together, but we'll be back together soon enough. So we'll start with our predictions here. The first one in the high school ranks: Bernie versus Victoria West. Coach Eric. Morris has picked Bernie as well. Coach Roger? We'll go with Bernie there. Coach?
Victoria West.
Gonna go with Victoria West there, and I will go with Bernie. I gotta tell you, it's been tough not being here for these games, not knowing what anyone else is gonna choose. So I've just got a little lucky. Next game is down in the Valley, La Jolla versus Edinburgh. Coach V. Edinburgh. I picked Edinburgh there. Morris has picked La Jolla. Coach Roger? Edinburgh. Edinburgh there. And, well, I'm going to go with the coaches who watch tape, say, every week. I'm going to go with Edinburgh there. Coach, in your district, Southwest Legacy against Southwest. We'll let you pick first here.
Southwest.
I'm going to go with Southwest. Coach V? Southwest. Coach Roger? Take Southwest, and I will take the Dragons as well, the Southwest Dragons. Next game, we'll take a pause here as we let our man Choche come in. Choche, as always, thank you so much for having us here for the prediction show. We appreciate you making room for us and for the hospitality here, and of course for the food. Talk to us about your specials today.
Well, today we're not going to have much food here for much longer. We've been kind of swamped. But chile relleno was our food today. I gave the coaches a nice pulled pork sandwich. We're here, always working.
What are the things you always talk about, Choche, is the importance of football in your life?
Always, man. I mean, I started playing when I was 5, like Coach Olivas knows, and he just asked me the other day, "Are you going to be the presidente of Águilas?" My son's 3, and I'm dying for next year, you know. Yeah, I mean, it taught me everything really that I grew up with, and kind of the values that I still uphold, even just in daily work here. You know, I push hard, and they know how hard I push when I play, so I take it every day, like the same thing.
Very good. Choche, again, thank you so much. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate just having you here. Thank you so much. Choche, thank you. And we'll get AD Eric Villaseñor back in his seat as we move forward now with East Central and New Braunfels Canyon. Coach V. Take New Braunfels. Morris took New Braunfels Canyon. Coach will take Canyon as well. Coach Roger?
I'll go East Central.
I go with East Central there, and I'll follow you, Coach. I'm gonna go with East Central there. Got a gut feeling about them. On to the college ranks now. In the Big Ten, Nebraska and Indiana. IU is undefeated so far in the season. One of the remaining undefeated teams. We'll start with Coach V. Nebraska. Going to take the Cornhuskers on the road in Indiana. Morris has picked Nebraska too. Coach Roger?
I'm going to take Indiana.
Going to go with IU.
Indiana.
Coach, IU, and I believe in the Hoosiers, so I'm going to take IU too as well there. Here's the big one this week in the SEC. Georgia against UT. Coach, yes, no. Going to go with UT. Morris could not bring himself to take the Longhorns in this game, so he's chosen Georgia. Coach Roger? Going to go with the Longhorns as well.
Georgia.
Coach Ramirez is going to go with Georgia as well, and I've just seen too much out of UT to go against them, so I'm going to pick the Longhorns there as well. Another interesting SEC matchup between two teams who are kind of floundering here in the past couple of weeks and have had a tough time pulling out wins. Alabama at Tennessee. Coach, Alabama. Going to go with the Crimson Tide. Morris has chosen Alabama. Coach, you'll go with Alabama as well. Coach Ramirez?
Alabama.
Here's my upset special of the week. I think the Volunteers are going to pull this off. I'm going to go with UT, not the other UT, in this game. I'm going to go with Tennessee. Here's Texas A&M against Mississippi State in another SEC matchup. Coach V? A&M. We'll go with A&M there as well. Morris, of course, has picked the Aggies. Coach Roger is going to go with A&M. Coach Ramirez? A&M, and I will go with the Aggies there as well. On to the pros now. Texans up at Lambeau against the Packers. Both had very good games this past week. Very tough offenses. Coach V. Going to go with the Texans. Morris has picked the Packers. Coach Roger? We'll go with the Packers as well. Coach Ramirez? We'll take the Texans, and I'm going to go with the Texans there as well. And finally, Cowboys have a bye this week, and we can all be thankful for that. Lions versus Vikings. Vikings are still undefeated, and the Lions, as we just saw against the Cowboys last week, are a tough team. Coach V. Going to go with Detroit there. Morris has picked the Lions as well. Coach? Going to pick the Lions. Coach Ramirez?
Lions.
I penciled you in for the Lions. Anyway, I'm going to go with the Packers here because I think the Lions are coming off of going to be very proud of themselves after what they did with the Cowboys, and the Vikings are tougher than you think. We want to mention our sponsors one last time on behalf of Universal Media Connections and the folks at 92.7. Sangar Furniture, La Vita Tortilla Factory, Border Federal Credit Union, Stat Emergency, Texas Diamond Gross, Chad Harper, Attorney at Law, Sarita's Tortilla Factory, Joe Ruiz and Associates, Lorena Melo State Farm, Choche's Barbecue, United Medical Centers, Los Venados Tabanny Insurance, and Retro Ranch Western Wear. And of course, we want to thank Choche's Barbecue for their sponsorship and their hospitality as well. We want to wish the best of luck to both the Thundering Maverick Band and the Mighty Eagle Band. They are headed to UIL competition. Hopefully they'll both get their ones and they'll advance to area. After that, they'll be up in Converse this Saturday competing in UIL marching competition, and we want to wish both of those programs the best of luck, as well as all of the athletic programs in the Eagle Pass ISD. Folks, thank you so very much for joining us. Eagle Pass Sports Central, by the way, will be in Laredo tomorrow evening for that game between the Mavericks and the Martin Tigers. My name is Ruben Valadez. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you next time.